name's Katja Johansson and I'm the Associate Dean, Partnerships and International in the Faculty of Arts and Education here at Deakin University. So thank you very much. It's wonderful to have this opportunity to welcome you all. I'm really delighted that you're here today for the official launch of the world first initiative by the Deakin Child Study Research Centre, AllPlay Dance. AllPlay is a program run by the centre with the aim of making the world fit for all children. And you might have seen the news report on Channel 7 last night. If you haven't, I think you should go home and stream it. And it's especially exciting today because we're taking the opportunity to celebrate the dedication of a vision for inclusion and to champion collaboration with our supportive colleagues and partners. And I think it's also very exciting that while the Melbourne International Arts Festival is on, we've got a little bit of an arts festival here at Deakin ourselves. I firstly want to welcome the Queensland Ballet, and in particular, Mr. Li Cunxin, the Artistic Director of the ballet. Thank you very much for joining us today. We know that you've just finished the ballet's final performance of the current season of A Midsummer Night's Dream here in Melbourne, so it's a real privilege to have you. Mr. Li is an internationally acclaimed dancer. He's best known for his book and film, Mao's Last Dancer. He was the principal dancer for the Australian Ballet from 1995 to 1999 and has been the artistic director of the Queensland Ballet since 2012. Mr. Li has been awarded with 2 honorary doctorates, one from the Australian Catholic University and one from Griffith University, for his contributions to dance, arts and literature. And he was also awarded Father of the Year in 2009, which must have been the proudest moment, I think. So we're particularly grateful for your participation in the AllPlay dance launch, and we look forward very much to seeing the masterclass you'll be presenting for us shortly. But now it's my great pleasure to introduce Professor Jane Den Hollander, the AO, the Vice-Chancellor of Deakin University and host of this afternoon's gathering. Professor Den Hollander has been the Vice-Chancellor here at Deakin since 2010, and we're holding on to her for as long as we possibly can. So please welcome Professor Den Hollander.
Thank you, Katja, and I of course begin by acknowledging the owners of this land on which we are meeting, and I pay respects to elders past, present and emerging, and I particularly acknowledge any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander who may be with us this afternoon. Well, it's a great pleasure to be here. What a great honour for us to have such a varied and participatory audience, particularly Li Cunxin, the Artistic Director of the Queensland Ballet. You come with great reputation, great humanity, and we are delighted to have you with us and for what you will see and then what you will contribute to us this afternoon to the people assembled. Thank you very much. Martha Goodber, Ed Squad Coordinator, Queensland Ballet, very nice to have you with us and to see the kind of work that you're getting into and how we can learn. My Deakin colleague, particularly Professor Nicole Reinhardt, Director of the Deakin Child Study Centre, and Associate Professor Katja Johansson. But we also, my friends, have our Head of School of Psychology, Professor Jane McGilvray. We have the Executive Dean of the Faculty, who I can't even see where he is now. Brendan Cotty is sitting on the other side, and numerous members of our staff who are here to support and to help us with what is, we think, an innovative and game-changing program. This is the formal launch of the Deakin Child Study Centre AllPlay Dance. AllPlay Dance is a game changer for children with disabilities. It creates an equal playing field where all kids, all children are welcomed, and we can begin to dissolve the barriers to inclusion in all parts of our community that are so destructive. And starting with our children must be the best place to begin. This program aligns perfectly with Deakin's core values, our value of diversity, to embrace difference, and to nurture a connected, safe, respectful, and above all, an inclusive community. Many of us have experienced exclusion, to be other, to be outside. We all know how demoralizing and how tedious that can be. This is the opposite. This is changing that to inclusion, to making sure that we all have our place. The work being done by our Deakin Childcare Centre child centre exemplifies much of what is important to us: a multidisciplinary approach, innovation in research, but most importantly, it brings researchers and industry together to make a difference to the communities that we jointly serve. AllPlay Dance is translating evidence-based science into practical outcomes. We actually do the work, find the evidence, test the evidence, and then it's applied with practical outcomes that will make a difference to the lives of all young people. But even if it was only one young person, what a difference that would make. Nicole and her team are listening to children, they listen to parents, and they listen to teachers to create truly inclusive environments where children of all abilities feel secure to thrive socially and emotionally, and where they will have the same access to participation as all of their peers. I'm now delighted to introduce the director of the Deakin Child Study Centre, Nicole Reinhardt. Nicole holds the chair of clinical psychology at Deakin and is an honorary fellow at the Murdoch Children's Research Institute. Nicole is remorseless in her drive. She's not only a great thinker with innovative ideas, a very good approach to how one does research. But more than that, she does understand that in order to do good research, one must communicate outcomes, one must join the community to that research, and that you work collectively. This is her greatest skill, in my view, that she is the communicator, that she has taken her evidence, and she is practicing in her community. She currently serves on the board of directors at Autism Victoria, now known as AMAZE. She has contributed to the NHMRC clinical practice statement for ADHD and the revision of the Australian Therapeutic Guidelines for Development Disabilities. Friends, one and all, and most particularly to all of our dancers, I hope you are going to have a wonderful afternoon, and that whatever you do tomorrow, it will be different and you will think differently from the way you did before we started this session. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the afternoon, and I give you Professor Nicole Reinhardt.
Thank you, Vice-Chancellor, and thank you everyone for coming today, and a special welcome to our Chair of AllPlay, Jonathan Wenegg, and his family. Thank you, Jonathan, for coming. I also wish to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land and pay my respects to the local people and their elders, past, present and future. I am so proud to welcome you to AllPlay Dance. There are many people to welcome, so many people to thank, and a glorious masterclass to come thanks to Li. Most importantly, though, there is a beautiful and inspiring AllPlay Dance performance that I'm so excited to share with you. Firstly, welcome and thank you to our very special guest, Queensland Ballet Artistic Director, Mr. Li Cunxin. We are honoured to have you join us in this endeavour. We are honoured that you're joining in our passion to change the lives of 1 in 5 children with developmental disabilities through dance. Our wonderful dance buddies are so excited to have the masterclass with you. AllPlay is the leading model for inclusion in Australia. We believe in challenging the status quo for children with developmental challenges and disrupting the current pathways of inequity so that there are no longer barriers to inclusion in play, sport, education and dance. Through dance, children learn creativity, confidence, problem solving, perseverance, non-verbal communication, receiving constructive feedback, dedication and accountability. And as I've watched the rehearsals over the last couple of weeks, I've seen all of that in all of these children. It's been magical. But it's hard to believe in 2018 not all children have access to these vital developmental opportunities. There are many places a child could sharpen these skills, but I'm sure that as a parent you will agree with me that I think they should be sharpening their skills on a dance floor or a footy field or a sporting field, and not just in a clinic. One of the wonderful mums here today spoke to me at the rehearsal and she said, "My daughter's so happy since she's participated in this program, you might be out of a job as a clinical psychologist treating mental health." And I said, perfect, my goal here is to become redundant. and for children to develop their happiness, their sense of self, and what they can do rather than what they can't do on a dance floor. That would make my life, I think. The AllPlay model for inclusion uniquely brings together government, philanthropy, and industry. We work very closely with parents, coaches, dance teachers, and the children themselves to understand what the gaps are here, to understand what the gaps are that we need to fill as researchers. We then wrap this mighty Deakin University research engine around that and solve problems and create new pathways to inclusion, as we've done today. It's with this in mind that I wish to thank the National Disability Insurance Agency, who were the first generous funders of our program. I'd also like to acknowledge the generous funding that we've received from Deakin University, and particularly from the Faculty of Health. Thank you to our Executive Dean, Brendan Crotty, who's held this program very close to his heart. I'm also proud and excited to acknowledge the cross-faculty relationship building that's happened because of AllPlay Dance. The School of Communication and Creative Arts has welcomed us with open arms, so thank you. You know who you are. Now I have the honour of sharing a truly wonderful experience, led by Deakin University academics who are also elite dancers, a very rare breed, Ebony Lindor and Olivia Millard. Thank you so much. We're so proud of what you're doing. But now I'm pleased to welcome to you young Mia, Jasmine, Sheshmi, Lily Jane, Chloe, Lachlan, Bridget, Indiana, and Ella to the stage. Welcome. With their buddies Morgan, Elena, Hannah, Catherine, Laura, Tyler, Alicia, Isabella, Millie, Laura, Lily Mae, Bridget, Talia, another Bridget, Lucinda, and Destin. When I came to watch your rehearsal a couple of weeks ago, I was absolutely speechless. Now, my colleagues and my family are here and they know that I'm very rarely speechless, but I was speechless at the beauty, the joy, and the collaboration that I saw between all of you. You are a true inspiration to me. Thank you so much for all your hard work to bring AllPlay Dance to life. So welcome to AllPlay Dance, everybody.
congratulations to Deakin University. And I think the AllPlay dance program will be life transforming. And I think it's making our society a much better place for everybody. For everybody to have that chance to thrive and excel. And also I want to congratulate you for making those kids with disability dance with you. And you all dance so beautifully, so moving. To see what's in front of me was just truly moved me. So thank you very much for allowing me to be part of this. So today's masterclass is very much about for me to pass on some of my knowledge with young aspiring dancers. And I won't be too hard, but however, I will try to reinforce some points. When I started ballet at 11, my school, Beijing Dance Academy, and the teachers drilled three basic things in classical ballet if you want to become a good dancer. They need to be turned out. And so it makes you use your inner muscles, not the outer muscles. Because the inner muscles become very powerful, help you to come finding center. And the second point they want to be, if you move your legs, they have to be very pointed. The harder you point, the lighter the leg becomes, the muscles becomes. The more relaxed it is, the heavier it is. And again, doesn't help you find your center, come back to center. And the third one is that stretched, elongated lines. So if you can remember, turn out, pointed, and stretched, then I think we will all come from a very good place. Okay, let's start.